You ought to sip that while it's still chilled, Bumpy. Raymond's tone remained even, unnaturally even. Bumpy Johnson glanced at the wine glass. Chateau Margaux, 1937. Ray Ray's go-to choice. Bumpy had shown him how to savor French vintages back in '38, during their days hustling numbers side by side when they shared a bond like blood, when disloyalty was a vice for strangers, yet now that very wine would end his life, all eyes in the room fixed on him. The Italians grinned slyly, and Bumpy Johnson, Harlem's fiercest figure, responded in a way no one could have foreseen. He chuckled. October 12th, 1945. Small's Paradise Nightclub, Harlem. The rear chamber hung heavy with cigar haze and the blend of pricey scents mingling with bargain booze. 24 figures crowded a table ill-suited for the outsized ambitions it bore. Numbers, operators, policy kings, a bent cop from the force, 3 wise guys from the Genovese clan who had motored north from Little Italy just for this gathering, and Raymond Coleman, Bumpy's longest-standing ally, his reliable right-hand man, the one who had caught a blade in Sing to shield Bumpy all the way back in 1936, the same fellow who had just consented to taint his drink for $30,000. The back room at Small's Paradise wasn't merely another Harlem haunt. It embodied authority, brokered pacts, sliced up domains like a family feast. Crimson walls loomed dark, illumination dimmed to a murmur, tunes from the front seeped in like a faint pulse. Duke Ellington's band had swung through here. Billie Holiday had poured her soul on this stage, and this evening death would claim a soul within these walls. Bumpy sensed it the instant he stepped inside. Grins flashed too sharply, grips lingered too tightly. Ray had hustled the poor, urged him to claim the top seat with undue zeal. The Italians dropped all pretense. Sal Benedetto, a Genovese tough with a jagged mark slicing from eye to chin, lounged in the shadows, picking at his nails with a blade, openly, ensuring Bumpy caught the display. This gathering was meant as a truce summit. The Italians aimed to push their heroin racket into Harlem turf. Bumpy had rejected the notion outright. They never accepted refusal, so they secured a turncoat. And Ray Coleman, the soul Bumpy had lifted from the streets, whose sibling he had rescued from a brutal spouse, the insider privy to Bumpy's home, his stashed cash, even his mother's weekly church routine, had betrayed it all. The salute came from Ray's mind. "Gentlemen," he announced, rising with goblet aloft, "to fresh alliances, to wealth, to Harlem's tomorrow." Glasses lifted in unison, the Italians included, who couldn't care less for the neighborhood's dawn, but relished witnessing a downfall in a swallow. Bumpy's remained pristine before him. Ray's smirk wavered briefly, enough for Bumpy to register. "Ain't you toastin', Bump?" Ray probed, forcing breeziness, echoing their shared past. Bumpy met his gaze, truly studied him, noted the sheen on Ray's lip unrelated to the warmth, caught his glances darting to Sal Benedetto in the gloom, observed the subtle shake in his grip on the stem. Quote 5. Bumpy murmured. The space fell hushed, that heavy quiet when dread looms clear to all, yet the shape stays elusive. Ray forced a guffaw, but it rang false, empty. Quote 6. "Kin," Bumpy echoed, the term lingering like lingering fog. Quote 7. He lifted the glass, angled it toward the fixture above. The crimson liquid gleamed under the bulb, rich and shadowy as fresh spill. Bumpy remarked offhand. Ray replied, the final word fracturing his delivery. Quote 11. Bumpy pressed on, glass untouched. Quote 12. Sal Benedetto stirred restlessly. His palm edged toward his coat. Bumpy's stare pinned him. Got pressing business, Sal? Sal stiffened. Jazz notes drifted from beyond the portal, a sax weaving a languid, sorrowful strain, akin to dirge. Bumpy placed the glass back, sans a taste. Ever ponder arsenic's flavor, Ray? Chill gripped the air. Ray paled starkly. Bump, I ain't sure what you're— Bitter almonds, Bumpy cut in. Subtle. Folks might miss it amid such bold notes. They'd sample, praise the year, and drop in 40 minutes. He rose deliberately. Every soul tracked his motion. No one shifted. No one exhaled. But I ain't ordinary. Ray's fingers fumbled toward his belt, where Bumpy recalled the .38 rested. Yet Bumpy moved swifter. Not armed with a pistol or sharp words, it doesn't matter. Don't, Bumpy murmured gently. It wasn't intimidation. It was reality. If you draw that weapon, S will drop you before you even get it out of the holster. That's the arrangement, right? You taint my drink, they take you down, and it appears like a mutual hit. Neat, straightforward, without any fallout hitting the Genevese clan. Ray froze in place. S. Benedetto gazed at Bumpy as if confronting a specter. How'd you— S. began. Figure it out? Bumpy grinned, and it was the iciest expression anyone present had witnessed. I've been aware for a pair of weeks now. He slipped a hand inside his coat. Tension gripped every guy there. Fingers hovered near triggers. Bumpy withdrew a packet, not a firearm, a packet of papers. He flung it onto the surface before Ray. Take a look. Ray's fingers shook while tearing it open. Within lay snapshots. His complexion shifted from pale to ashen. Bumpy stated evenly. He slid over another image. Quote 26. Ray appeared on the verge of vomiting. Quote 27. Bumpy continued, lifting the wine goblet. Quote 28. Bumpy explained plainly. Ray's eyes bulged. He glanced at his own goblet, the one he'd lifted for the cheers, the one still untouched by his lips. Ray breathed. Bumpy replied. Quote 31. Bumpy eyed Ray's glass. Go on, take a sip. Bumpy, come on, sip it, Bumpy repeated. His tone was hushed, yet it bore the heft of 15 years of loyalty shattered in one treacherous evening. Ray quivered. The goblet clinked against his grip. S. Benedetto leapt to his feet, pistol drawn. No one's touching a drop. We're out. Take a seat, S., Bumpy instructed, eyes fixed elsewhere. You believe you're calling the shots? S. snarled. Bumpy pivoted deliberately toward him. In Harlem, every time. S.'s grip hardened on the trigger. Quote 38. Quote 39. Bumpy conceded. Quote 40. He fished out a cell phone, placed it on the table. Quote 41. S.'s features drained of color. Who? Bumpy punched in the number. It rang a couple times before connecting. Lucky, Bumpy announced into the line. Bumpy Johnson here. Got a mess that could use your take. Silence enveloped the space. Lucky Luciano, architect of the 5 families, builder of the Italian Syndicate's power, the figure even Vito Genovese deferred to. Bumpy paused briefly, absorbing the words, then responded. Quote 45. He waited, ear to the receiver. Quote 46. Bumpy turned to S. Quote 47. S grasped the phone as if it were venomous. Quote 48. Whatever Lucky Luciano uttered over the following half-minute leached every trace of hue from S.'s cheeks. After disconnecting, his palms trembled. We're heading out, S muttered softly. Hold up, Bumpy countered. He eased into his chair, extracted a smoke, ignited it leisurely. "Let me lay out the terms," Bumpy declared, blowing out a plume. "In Harlem, a guy's worth $30,000 on the street. Or at least that's your tab with Ray Ray. So you're forking over $30,000 to spare your skins." S glared. "This is blackmail." "I'm offering options," Bumpy clarified. "I could drop the lot of you on the spot and spark a feud that drains both sides dry for years. Or hand over $30,000, the exact sum you blew on my assassination, and we part ways clean. No conflict, no corpses, pure commerce." He inched closer. "So, S, your hides for $30,000 or your ego gratis?" S eyed his companions. They signaled agreement. "We'll wire the funds," S ground out. "Make it immediate," Bumpy insisted. "I know you carried extra for Ray Ray's follow-up cut." "Pass it along." S delved into his jacket cautiously, retrieving a fat envelope of bills. Bumpy left it untouched, gesturing to a subordinate who snatched it and tallied the contents. $30,000, the guy verified. "Perfect. You're free to go." S stowed his piece, headed for the exit, halted. "Vito won't let this slide." Bumpy smirked. "Lucky ordered the payout. You complied. Done deal. Unless Vito fancies justifying a war to Lucky over a botched attempt." S and his crew departed. The door shut after them. The room fell utterly still. He paused with the glass in hand for 5 seconds. Then Ray Ray began sipping. It wasn't out of desire. Bumpy's gaze locked on him, and every guy in the place had his eyes fixed, leaving zero escape. Ray Ray lifted the glass to his mouth. The liquid met his lips. He swallowed. The ordeal stretched over 7 minutes. Sweats broke out first, followed by shakes. Next, Ray Ray clutched his neck, eyes bulging, lips parting in a soundless cry. Bumpy observed without stirring or saying a word, simply witnessing his former brother succumb to the toxin he'd supplied. Ray Ray slumped across the table. Photos flew everywhere. The goblet crashed to the ground, and Bumpy Johnson tallied up $30,000 in bills as his longtime companion drew his final breath. Once it ended, Bumpy rose, adjusted his necktie, and gave one final glance at Ray Ray's corpse. "A guy's existence runs $30,000, he murmured softly. "Spread the word. If you betray Bumpy Johnson, you'll lose it all, and I'll collect regardless." He exited Small's paradise that evening, pockets $30,000 heavier. Ray Ray Coleman perished gasping amid disloyalty. The Italians ceased any attempts to push heroin through Harlem thereafter. And the following morning, Lucky Luciano rang Bumpy with a single remark: "You managed it properly. Respect." The incident in that private space on October 12, 1945, evolved into Harlem folklore. Not merely due to Bumpy eliminating a turncoat, many had done so, but for the method he employed. He transformed a killing into profit. He converted a conflict into a deal. He forced the Italians to compensate for the chance to keep breathing. No firearms, no bloodshed, just cunning, restraint, and the most chilling brand of retribution ever witnessed. Raymond Coleman's identity faded from Harlem conversations forever. The $30,000 he'd been offered rested in his grave. Meanwhile, the $30,000 Bumpy claimed from the Italians funded the purchase of 3 properties in Harlem, which he handed to widows left by husbands lost in the numbers game. For Bumpy Johnson embodied more than dominance. He stood for ethics. And the ethic boiled down to this: challenge the ruler and you'd best strike true. Fall short and settle up. That defined Bumpy's rule. That shaped his ethos. That formed his enduring mark. The rear chamber of Small's paradise remained shuttered for 6 months post that evening. Upon reopening, no one dared claim the seat where Ray Ray met his end. Folks claim the aroma of wine lingers. The burden of those events hangs heavy. Yet the true remnant was Harlem's takeaway. Bumpy Johnson didn't merely endure. He triumphed without fail. If this tale of treachery, shrewdness, and icy reckoning resonates with you, smack that subscribe icon. Give a thumbs up if you admire how Bumpy flipped a fatal snare into a windfall. And tell me in the comments, what move would you make in Bumpy's shoes? Share your thoughts.